Today, we will discuss the dynamics of glomerular filtration and GFR. Glomerular filtration will follow Stirling hypothesis and it depends on the balance of Stirling forces. Now, what is Stirling hypothesis? According to Stirling hypothesis, fluid movement across capillary walls depends on the balance between the hydrostatic pressure and oncotic pressure. The Stirling forces that operates at the glomerular capillary level are same as in systemic capillaries, but with some differences, such as there is no significant drop in hydrostatic pressure along the glomerular capillaries despite that filtration of the fluid. There is considerable rise of plasma oncotic pressure along the glomerular capillaries, and the oncotic pressure of the glomerular filtrate is nearly zero. The capsular hydrostatic pressure is higher than that in the interstitial fluid, and Stirling forces equilibrate towards the efferent arteriolar end of the glomerular capillaries. Now, coming to the dynamics of glomerular filtration. GFR equal to the product of filtration coefficient and effective filtration pressure or net filtration pressure. Now, effective filtration pressure is the balance of Stirling forces across the glomerulus. Net outward force across the glomerular capillaries is the sum of hydrostatic pressure of glomerular capillaries and oncotic pressure of Bowman's capsule minus net inward force, which is the sum of hydrostatic pressure of Bowman's capsule and oncotic pressure of glomerular capillaries. Look at the slide. Here, equation of the GFR is given. Look at the picture. You will get an idea how Stirling forces act across the glomerular capillaries at afferent end and efferent end. Look at the picture, where in afferent arteriole, hydrostatic pressure of glomerular capillary is 45 mm of mercury, and the oncotic pressure of the Bowman's capsule is 0. So net outward force is 45 mm of mercury, and the inward force, that is the hydrostatic pressure of the Bowman's capsule, which is 10 mm of mercury, and oncotic pressure of the glomerular capillary, which is 25 mm of mercury. So net inward force is 35 mm of mercury. So effective filtration pressure at the afferent arteriolar end is 10 mm of mercury. At the efferent arteriolar end, hydrostatic pressure of the glomerular capillary is 45 mm of mercury. As I have said earlier, that there is no significant drop in the hydrostatic pressure along the glomerular capillaries, and oncotic pressure of the Bowman's capsule again 0. So outward force is 45 mm of the mercury, and inward force is oncotic pressure of the glomerular capillaries is 35 mm of mercury, and hydrostatic pressure of the Bowman's capsule is 10 mm of mercury. So resultant inward force is 45 mm of mercury. As I have stated earlier, that Stirling forces equilibrate towards the efferent arteriolar end of the glomerular capillaries. Look at this picture. Outward force is 45 mm of mercury and inward force is 45 mm of mercury. So net force is 0. So across the glomerular capillary, effective filtration pressure is 10 mm of mercury. From this point, we can calculate the GFR. Going to the next slide. GFR is the product of filtration coefficient and effective filtration pressure. So GFR is 125 ml per minute and 128 liter per day. Now coming to the factors affecting glomerular filtration rate. First important factor is filtration coefficient. It is the product of permeability of the membrane and filtration area of the glomerular capillary membrane. Any conditions like hypoxia, presence of toxic substances increases GFR by increasing permeability, whereas thickening of glomerular membrane causing decrease of GFR by decreasing permeability. Vasoconstrictors like angiotensin II, endothelin, norepinephrine causing contraction of mesangial cells, which results decrease in GFR by decreasing filtration area of glomerular capillaries. Vasodilators like dopamine, cyclic AMP, nitric oxide causing relaxation of mesangial cells, causing increase in GFR by increasing filtration area of glomerular capillaries. Look at this slide. There are different conditions with increased or decreased GFR and their reasons. In hypertension, GFR increased due to increased capillary hydrostatic pressure, whereas increased renal blood flow also reduces the rise of colloid osmotic pressure along the capillary, causing increased GFR. And in case of hypoproteinemia, GFR increased due to decreased plasma oncotic pressure. Increased hydrostatic pressure in the Bowman's capsule occurs in ureteric obstruction and renal edema, causing decreased GFR. Also, GFR is decreased in case of dehydration due to increased plasma oncotic pressure. In renal diseases, GFR decreased due to reduced permeability and effective surface area. Next day, we will discuss regulation of GFR. In case of any queries, you can mail me. Thank you for today.